Folks, we are back at MACO. As you know, I'm Dante, the host of NoPixAfterDark
I am Emily Keller, Mayor of the City of Hagerstown, and we have with us today Maryland's next governor, Wes Moore. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much for joining us.
I'm telling you, this is my joy. I've looked forward to this for a long. I could not think of a better hosting pairing than what we got going on right here.
You know, I called her up and said, "Hey, I need you." She said, "Aaron, done. Say no more." And so I'm so happy to have her on. We met last year on my show. Great mayor. She gave me a tour of the city. Yeah. I love Hagerstown's my second home now.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
It's an extraordinary place with extraordinary leadership. And when I think about everything from NoPixAfterDark and what this and everything that you continue to provide for our community, which is just it's light and love and information, right? And I think about the leadership that the mayor continues to provide, which is just it's light and it's love and it's information and it's leadership. I could not be more excited about what is the future of our communities, what's the future of our state, what is a collaborative Maryland actually look like, and what could we actually accomplish in this time. So this is great.
I feel the same way about you. Talking about light and love. You know, we met at MML Summer Conference last year. It was my first time meeting you face to face. We sat down and had a conversation, and I was having an emotional day because it was the 5-year anniversary of my best friend passing away. Got to sit down and talk to you, and it was like immediately, I'm like, that's our next governor. That's our next governor. You just have this ability to like draw people in, and you do it on stage, and you have this just ability to show people love and kindness, and I would love to see you angry. I can't even imagine you angry. You're just, you're such a, we need that right now in this country. You know, you're not divisive, you don't attack people, it's so refreshing to have someone who stands for something and stands strong for a lot of things, but doesn't do it in a divisive way. And I think anyone that meets you face to face is like, okay, all right, I get it. I get why everyone jumped on board. You know, I don't know if 2 years ago people would have said the Democratic candidate is going to be Wes Moore. I don't think a lot of people would have said that, right? Not even a year ago. You know, but then everyone got to know you, and it's like, okay, this is exactly what we need right now in this state, in this country. We need more Wes Moores. So thank you.
And bless you. And thank you, because your support and your early support, I mean, you believed early. Yes. And you did it at a time when folks were probably looking at you like, I don't know, Madam Mayor, I don't know if you want to do this. But you know, the thing about it, I think people are tired of being at each other's throats.
Yes.
They're tired of trying to think that the way I move up is by pushing someone else down. They're tired of the idea that this false narrative that if good things are happening in one part of the state, that means bad things are happening in another part of the state. They're tired. People want for us to be able to say, what can we actually accomplish if we were to put all these artificial and frankly just trite and old school labels behind? What could actually happen if we could actually design a future where we're all included in it?
Yes.
Where we're all being thought about, where we all have a place at the table, where we leave no one behind. What could that actually look like? And I think that's been the exciting thing about what we've seen both during the primary, during the general, and hopefully what we'll be able to see come January.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So what do you think? I mean, Maryland as a whole, we're at this conference, and it's a little bit different this year. Yeah. It's a major year, election year. You know, probably 25 minutes to get through here. What do you hope for the state of Maryland? Because right now, things are like, the old governor's leaving. It's a brand new regime. Yeah. What do you have going forward, for your plan going forward with Maryland, you think? What's some things that you would like to see for us?
I think we need to be prepared to invest.
Right.
And invest in things, frankly, that have been just long-term generational challenges. But we have a generational opportunity to get it right. Right. So when we say we're going to have a 21st century education system for all of our students, when we say we are going to have free pre-K for every child in need in Maryland and not some. And again, it's just following the data. The data is very clear about what is happening to so many children. 80% of brain development happens to a child by the time the child is 5 years old. So if we're starting school for children at 5, it just doesn't make sense. They've already lost so much of that process. Focusing on early childhood development, focusing on apprenticeship and trade programs. We have a dynamic and a growing economy, but frankly, an economy where we're finding where more and more Marylanders can't participate in it. because you're not trained up for it.
Right.
And so how are we not taking advantage of the dynamism of our economy by making sure we're creating pipelines, by being able that, having us have a service year option for every single high school graduate, because that is both going to help to deal with things like experiential learning, and it's also going to help to deal with this issue of divisiveness that we continue to see in our society when we're asking young people to serve together, to be part of something bigger together. Transportation, housing, dealing with the issue of public safety. Like, these are all things, making our state more competitive in our small businesses. These are all things that if we talk about what does it mean to invest in this moment, and what does it mean to collectively work in partnership with our local jurisdictions, I just think that the promise of Maryland is blinding if we can just agree to move forward together in this moment.
And how do you think we can get more people to vote this year? Like, can we get a higher turnout? What do you think? I'm doing my best to push it out. What do you think? What can we tell our friends, our cousins? Like, get out and vote and tell other people. What do you think? What's the best?
Well, and that's the thing. I think when we think about these past years, we've done a better job of giving people access, right? Where people have multiple ways and means to be able to go out and vote, whether it is early voting, whether it's mail-in, whether it's day of. And so I think we're doing a better job of creating pathways for people to go out and make their voice heard. The next step is continuing to remind people why their voices need to be heard, right? Continue to remind them what's at stake. And and I say this with a real deal of humility, where in November, the people of the state of Maryland have a very real choice. It could not be more clear that we just have not just different, myself and my opponent, we don't just have different opinions on policies. We have different worldviews.
Absolutely.
Right, and I want to be clear what's at stake. In November, we don't have an opponent; we have a threat.
I agree.
We are literally going against somebody who's, while my definition of defending democracy was putting on a uniform and serving with the 82nd Airborne Division in Afghanistan and defending democracy, his definition was putting on a baseball cap and storming the Capitol and trying to overthrow an election. Right, where my definition of defending women's rights to choose and believing that abortion is health care and believing that Maryland will be a safe haven for abortion rights. After the Supreme Court literally robbed millions of women of health care, my opponent decided to go and make a statement praising Donald Trump and saying that he would criminalize all abortions, including in the case of incest and rape, to both the patient and the provider. So this could not be more clear on the difference. The thing, though, and going back to the great question about what we have to do, I'm not asking people to come out and vote because they should be afraid of something. I'm asking people to support our movement because we want them to be hopeful for something. We want them to believe in something. To believe in what we can actually get done in this time, in a moment where we can reshape what it means, not just be Democrats, but what is to reshape what it means to be Marylanders in this moment. And that's what we have to continue reminding people, what's at stake and what we can get done together. We do that, people will come out and support.
Yeah. And I think there are people in Maryland who forget that we have counties like mine, like Washington County, where, overwhelmingly elected your opponent.
Yes.
And
right.
After Roe versus Wade, I organized a rally in our square, and it happened to be a block from an abortion clinic. And people said, that's so stupid, you're rallying, but you could walk a block up and get an abortion. And I'm like, okay, and I consider myself lucky for that, because it's healthcare. But not everyone has that ability. I mean, it was even, go out, protest them. We had to have police officers on standby because they were threatening to come protest and take us out and all these things. And it's like that actually still happens in Maryland.
That's right. That's exactly right.
And that's scary.
That's right.
It is a vote for hope.
That's right.
It is a vote for hope.
That's right.
That kind of divisiveness is very real. And very real.
It's real, it's dangerous, and it's counterproductive for anyone who believes in the future of our state.
Yes.
Who believes that our state can compete and our state can win.
Yeah.
That kind of, I'm a big believer in this idea that divided, if this state is divided, we can't win. If our state is united, we can't lose.
Yeah.
We have every asset that you could ever ask for in the state of Maryland. The challenge right now is that we're asset rich and we're strategy poor. Right? And that's something that we can address, and frankly, why your leadership, Madam Mayor, has just been so important in this moment. Because you have led and won decisively in a place where it hasn't been simple.
Yeah.
And it hasn't been easy. And it meant you really going out and taking the extra time to be able to explain to people how our collective vision is one of power and unity. And you've won on that. And so, and a lot of us, myself included, have taken notice of it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I think if we all just had conversations, I think we have more in common than we have apart. But people don't speak to each other anymore. And
that's right.
You have to have that ability to bring people together, to have conversations, to find common ground. You know, we're not always going to agree, but I think you have the ability to do that. And you've shown you have the ability to do that, and that's what we need.
Thank you. And I tell you, I mean, I think about, your story, what brought you to public service. One of the things I was so touched is that, for example, the issue of addiction. That's not a Democratic issue or a Republican issue.
No.
That's hitting families all across the board in our state. Mental health challenges. That's not a Democrat or Republican issue.
Absolutely not.
That is hitting every single family in some of the most damaging and horrific and unfair ways. The inability for a small business to be able to grow and to thrive and to compete, especially in the early stage for small business, kind of like in that friends and family round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those challenges, those are not Democratic challenges or Republican challenges.
They're not.
So this is really about how are we understanding that what we're attacking are the challenges. What we're pushing for are the opportunities. And they don't have a political strike to them.
Yes.
This is about how we as Marylanders can actually rebound and push forward on this stuff.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna do something really quick and fun.
Go.
Speed round for you because guess what? I know you got a lot of things going on, and we're getting close. You want to kick it off, or I want to kick it off?
You can kick it off.
All right, we gotta go back. We did this a while back, but we're gonna make sure we do it right. Snowball or ice cream?
Snowball or ice cream?
Or ice cream. Come on. See? Come on now. You know that a lot of people.
I'm gonna go. So here's the thing. I'm gonna go ice cream.
Okay.
But here's why. Ice cream for me can be a 365 thing.
Okay.
If you're talking about just the summer months, snowballs. And so that's why I say ice cream, because I think ice cream can be more universal.
That's why you're a politician. You couldn't give us
No, because listen, you can enjoy ice cream anytime, right? But there is something about on a hot summer day.
Snowball.
When you see a snowball, when you see a little stand, sounds of snowballs, it's just very, very difficult to walk away from.
Go ahead. What you gonna ask?
Backstreet Boys are NSYNC.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
That's a good one.
There is a wrong answer in this. I just want to tell you.
NSYNC because they're more durable.
Oh.
Favorite R&B group?
Well, I gotta hear the answer. I feel like I just lost support.
That one pains me. I'm gonna let you take it back, though. I'm gonna let you take it back. Listen, men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie. Backstreet Boys have sold 140 million albums worldwide, and they're still touring. Just saying.
Okay.
I love it. Data-driven, heartland.
That was data-driven. That was fact. You came with facts.
Listen.
She came ready for that one.
Favorite R&B group?
Of all time?
All time.
I'm gonna have to go with Guy.
Oh wow, I like it. Oh,
I'm gonna have to go.
I'm
with
a Jodeci guy. Casey and JoJo, they can.
Yeah, Casey and JoJo. Now, do you include Casey and JoJo, or are you just talking about just Jodeci?
Ooh, you get it back to me.
I'm just saying.
I mean, all my life is probably.
That's what I'm saying. But that's not Jodeci.
You're right. So okay, I'll do Casey. Okay, Casey and JoJo then. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, you got me. You got me there. That was a good one. He got me on my own show.
That's what I'm saying.
What are we doing here? I'm gonna give him my. You can take over NoPix. I'm done. I'm done today.
Because I'm saying, Guy for me, and Guy going back to data.
Okay.
Guy doesn't have the most amount of hits.
Right.
But when you think about the moments.
Teddy Riley's in that group, right?
That's exactly right.
Right.
Aaron Hall.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they had. Oh yeah.
When you think about who, by the way, has maybe one of the greatest voices, underrated voices.
Okay.
In R&B, in modern hip hop R&B history.
I can see that. Yep. Okay.
But if you think about the moments that you've had, like coming up, and where Guy was the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's where you're just like, you know what? I got to give it to Guy.
He's right. Good call.
Ooh.
What do you got?
So I wasn't going to go all music, but because I just saw you at a concert,
Yep.
Jay-Z or Nas?
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh, that's a tough one.
They're both on the Mount Rushmore.
Right.
But you got to go with Jay. I mean, because think about it, because like.
You won me back now.
I mean, but yeah, thank you. I was like, Jay? Question mark. Because think about it, like, we were listening to Jay. Like, when did Reasonable Doubt come out? 95?
Yeah,
96?
It was 96, right before Biggie passed. I want to say right before Biggie passed.
And that was like his first, but Jay was still doing stuff before that, right? That was just the first album that really put people onto him. But think about that career span, right?
Wow.
And for a lot of hip hop artists, and people say with a lot of hip hop artists who stayed relevant over a long period of time, like, you know, LL Cool J stayed relevant for a longer period of time, etc. But remember, Ice Cube stayed relevant for a long period of time. But that was because they broadened their reach. They became actors. They became this. They became that. Jay-Z's just done hip hop.
Right.
For like 30 years now. I'm not taking anything away from his entrepreneurialism and his business acumen.
Right.
But it's not like Jay-Z didn't become an actor.
No, he's a rapper.
He's a rapper.
He's a rapper.
He's still a rapper.
Yes.
Right? Over the past 30 years?
I mean,
that's crazy.
We have better halftime shows now.
Best halftime show of all time.
Right. Anything else you want to rap? I don't know.
That's a good question too. Best halftime show of all time.
Okay. See now, if you're going to say that,
Ooh.
I'm gonna let you do your answer first. I already know who my answer is.
My answer is Beyonce.
My answer is Prince. Know why? It rained during Purple Rain.
It sure did.
It rained in Purple Rain.
It sure did.
That by itself.
It sure did. But when Beyonce performed, the Ravens won the Super Bowl.
I like how you did the whole.
Tie goes to the Ravens.
I like how you switched it up. I like you. He knows his audience. I like that.
I'm a Commander fan.
Yes.
They pay me to say out loud. I'll admit it. But listen, last time we won a Super Bowl, I was 6. And I remember exactly where I was, and I remember cheering. I'm like, all right, it's been 30 years. We're going to go back there at some point. So one day I'll be able to tell you who performed when the Commanders won the
I was going to say,
Super Bowl,
who did perform for the Commanders?
I don't remember that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Wrap it up?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show again.
It's my joy.
But what I really want to do is, and I've told you this, we want to do a live show back in Baltimore.
Done.
Union Brewery. I'm putting you on the spot because y'all been talking about it.
Done.
And just have a good time talking about people who've never met you, who've never seen you. Because I've had a lot of my listeners like, how is he? What is he like?
Yeah.
And I really want them to have that experience that I have, because I feel like our podcast is always the voices unheard, and they want to know a little bit more about you. So let's get that. Let's try to get with your. I know you're busy. all I need is a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Listen, I'm never too busy, brother. And honestly, like this is my joy, and I love the work that y'all are doing, both collectively and individually.
Thank you.
And we need you guys to win.
Right.
We need you to win. If you win, our state wins. Right. And so anytime, and that's the thing that I want people to understand is like, we're going to move different.
Right.
You know, I always say, like, I've been a public servant for my whole life, but I just haven't been a politician. Right. I've worked in and with communities for my entire career, and that's how I plan on governing. So I'm really looking forward to this and just continuing to move forward collectively to try to get this working.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming here.
You,
and thank you for being you.
God bless
Thank you. It's an exciting time in Maryland. It's going to be a good next 8 years, that's for sure.
Yes, it will.
Yes, it will. Thanks again.
God bless you.
Thank you. Folks, we'll be right back after these messages.